Pay me, pay me, pay me my silver now. Pay me or go to jail. Pay me my silver now.
Good morning, Bix Weir, roadrunner.com. With your morning horners, just a sip of chaga coffee. Oh, so much going on in the world, but very excited. Paige and Josh have started their own website, doing their own content, helping people manage the change. That's the whole concept of what they're doing. Not necessarily geared towards the younger crowd, but there's a lot of things I didn't have the time and effort to do, and they do. So please, please, please go over to pebbletonpost.com. That name might ring a bell if you are a fan of the Wishes and Rainbows comics, where Ruta originated from. I'll show you that in a second. But they've got right here a website, pebbletonpost.com. Go down to the bottom and you can follow them. It's free. Sign up right there. Put your email in, and they'll be posting videos, links, written word, all kinds of things. They have so many ideas. Health and wellness, more about making people, helping people transition from the normie world to the reality world. And I know we've all struggled with that. So go support them, pebbletonpost.com. They also started a YouTube channel, the Pebbleton Post. And don't forget, Josh is like the king of audio, video, graphics, and stuff. So here's their intro page, the first post that they put. Check this out. So much slicker than the road to Ruta. Navigate the change. I think they're going to do great. I think a lot of people are struggling with, especially new people in the space, or people who can't quite get their hands around cryptos, can't quite get their hands around silver, can't quite get their hands around the freedom space. So definitely follow them. Like and subscribe to their YouTube channel. They have 30 subscribers. Good start. Let's keep them going. They also have a Patreon. And this is where they put the private content. As a matter of fact, I just had a discussion with them that they have posted on their Patreon channel. It's cheap, $7 a month or $15 a month if you want to get full access and all the bells and whistles. But go to Patreon and support Paige and Josh with the Pebbleton Post. Now let's remember back where the Pebbleton Post came from. When I first discovered the Road to Ruta comic books from the Federal Reserve Bank of Boston, they're still there, by the way. This is the active page. As you can see, there's the link to the comic book, and the Road to Ruta Teacher's Guide is right there. That's where all this started. I didn't fully grasp the scope of it when I first saw it. I just thought, this is one crazy comic book put out by the Fed. And when I analyzed it over the next few years, I'm like, holy mackerel. This is telling us the story of the transition out of the old system into something new. And Paige and Josh really were touched by this little place, the place where the Pebble people lived in this comic book. And this is the first, the first page. Deep beneath the ground between Boulders Ridge and Gopher Junction. Boulders Ridge is Canada. Gopher Junction is Mexico. It's hysterical names. Lies the little town of Pebbleton, and is a town of no color. And the whole story is about scarcity. When you have scarcity of certain things, when something new is introduced, you're like, oh my God. So when they introduce color to this land, they're like, oh my God, this is so amazing. So I think it's awesome what they're doing. Go check out the original Road to Ruta documents. Here's one very interesting page where they talk about the Pebble people. The Pebble people meaning you and me. Joe Public, United States of America. Listen to what, this is coming from the Fed. Listen to what Ruta's grandmother says. You'll see all these hints about gold and how much you need gold and all that. But the very first line here is, the Pebble people were not happy in their world of no color, meaning we're not happy in this current banking system. For centuries, they have heard stories of the legendary color land And they long to look upon the blues, reds, yellows, and that they have heard so much about. And then it goes on, and you can see all the gold symbolism. But the legendary Colorland is a gold standard. Actually, it's a bimetallic standard, gold and silver as money. And that's what we're going back to. This isn't me saying this. This is the Fed. But Paige and Josh loved Colorland. They've read the comic many times. And the people of Colorland needed someone to help them progress into a future with color. So the unbacked fiat monetary system that we, the people, live in today are going to need help in the transition over to a gold and silver standard or whatever we decide. That's the big thing about the Road to Ruta. We have to decide. So go check that out. Shows the gold in the Grand Canyon when they find it and all that. And then voila, she finds Colorland. I do a full analysis of the Road to Ruta. But there's all kinds of things in this about Pebbleton. And as a matter of fact, right here, when the mayor of Pebbleton instructs Ruta to allocate the flowers, we're going to get to that really soon. We're going to have, who's going to have the power in the United States government when the monetary system crashes to allocate the new money to the people, the gold and silver, probably eagles and many other types of gold and silver, maybe either other types of metal type money. And maybe even some cryptocurrency type money. But who is going to have the power and the trust of the people? There's not that many people. In Colorland, the mayor gave it to Ruta to decide, and she said, well, let's do it according to Social Security balances. That way the people who have worked the hardest get the first amount of money, and then so on. Everybody gets like a base amount of money to start, but then the younger people have time to work and build their treasures. So yeah, that's Pebbleton. Very excited about this. Like and subscribe to their YouTube channel, the Pebbleton Post, and their Patreon channel is Pebbleton Post. And yeah, and definitely go check out their website, pebbletonpost.com. Let's get them started. Tell your friends and family, hey, if you want to learn more about navigating the change, this is a great place to start. All right, speaking of change, silver, you know, I thought they were going to slam it much deeper than $21. I thought they were going to get under 20 for this delivery period. Really odd delivery month for silver. First of all, the first quarter or the first month of the yearly deliveries are usually huge. In the past, they've done over 50 and 60 million ounces of silver. This time, it's nothing. It's barely going to hit 15 million ounces from my calculation. And look at the volume. It's like everybody is leaving the COMEX. They're literally, look at that fall off in volume right when the delivery month starts. Could it go to zero? Could it now be the end of the COMEX? I don't know. But they really don't have a lot of silver. They're only going to deliver about 15 million ounces is my guess. And most of that is going to Bank of America, obviously, and coming from JP Morgan. JP Morgan actually had to dip into, I talked about yesterday, dip into their own silver hoards. That's 3.5 million ounces that JP Morgan had to deliver in silver because they couldn't find it anywhere else. Another clue. So there's the silver 5,000 ounce contract is the futures and options contract, the main one. But there's what they call a micro silver or a mini silver, micro silver contract. And it's right, micro silver contracts, those are 1,000 ounce contracts. Usually nothing happens there. I mean, we're talking the big boys, they just get the big stuff. There's little things, but not much. Look what happened this time. The CME had to deliver 1,000 micro contracts. That's 1 million ounces of silver that nobody had. So the CME, the actual exchange, had to make that delivery so they didn't go belly up. 1 million ounces was ponied up by that criminal institution that runs the COMEX, the CME group. Now, they're a self-regulating organization. They don't have anybody on them. So, yeah, they can do shit like that. And did it really come out of CME? Nobody really knows because they self-regulate and self-report. So I've only seen them come through a few times, but at this amount, I mean, look at the December, they did 1,205. Why is the CME the actual owner of the exchange having to deliver so much physical silver, it's because nobody else has any. We are running low on silver, my friends. I don't know when it'll break, but it will break, I think, definitely before September 27th, which is the day that J.P. Morgan gets out of their purgatory, the deferred prosecution agreement that they agreed to 3 years ago. They should be put out of business. They should have been put out of business a long, long time ago. But they haven't been. And we should have taken over our country. Probably 2008 is when we should have not bailed out the banks. I don't think anybody would vote for a bank bailout now. Definitely nobody in Congress would, and that's what they need. The Fed has been bailing out the banks behind the scenes all the time, every day. The reverse repos are massive, and there's just all this fraud and chicanery going on. But when the derivative bubble pops, that's when everything changes. That's $2.5 quadrillion of third-party risk that'll just go up in smoke. Poof. Nothing will survive that. Nothing. Warren Buffett calls it the weapon of mass financial destruction. And speaking of financial destruction, the Fed just nominated probably the worst human being to be nominated as the head of the Fed Chicago, and that's a guy named Austin Goolsbee. He follows the road to root, I guarantee you. Austin Goolsbee studied under Larry Summers, and what he studied is behavioral economics. Behavioral economics. This is a real thing in business school. Behavioral economics means if you say things are great and talk it up and lie basically to the people, then everybody will continue to spend and everybody will believe the lies, and thus making the economy run better, and then it will come true. If you build it, they will come. Austin Goolsbee has mastered that. He was one of Obama's, I think he was the head of the Council of Economic Advisors. I remember distinctly a session, and I had to look it up in the archives of the Road to Ruta. NBC did a special called Inside the White House. And Austin Goolsbee, during one of the sessions where they're talking to Obama in the Oval Office, Larry Summers comes in with Austin Goolsbee, and Larry Summers says, we have a situation that has arisen. And they're still filming. And Obama says, yes. And he goes, well, the Germans have a new slant on what's going on. And Obama says, well, is it better or worse? And this is when the Germans were deciding to repatriate gold. And Austin Goolsbee goes, it's better. For the most part, it's better. And then Larry Summers instantly says, I think it's best that we move the cameras out of the office. And it was all on, you can still get it on at MSNBC. Go to Road to Ruta, and I think you have to buy the Inside the White House thing. But if you want to watch it, it is a shocking time. And then a couple of weeks later, it was announced that Germany is repatriating all their gold. I took it the U.S. government and the Fed years to get them their gold. That's how tight that gold market is. Yes, there's billions of ounces of gold, but it's still tight in what is available to the people and to countries and to the riggers and manipulators. Really interesting, but that's Austin Goolsbee. Here's a picture of the guy. I am not a fan of people who lie, and that's his profession. That's what he is trained in. Behavioral economics is all about lying, cheating, stealing, fudging the numbers so that people believe things are fine when they really are not. So by appointing Austin Goolsbee as the head of the Fed Chicago, I guarantee you things are not fine. He will say they are fine, but the reason they put him there is when things are not fine, he's the chief liar of the economic system. Sorry, Austin. I know you don't like when I call you out, but you are what you are, and there's no hiding it anymore. A lot of people have learned a lot since the 2008 crash, and Austin Goolsbee was one of those people who just lied through his teeth every day, and still does. But it's a form of business taught at like Harvard and MIT. I think he went to MIT and Harvard or Yale. Let's see. Yep, he went to Yale and MIT. I'm not saying he's a dumb guy. He's not. But when you lie to the people, that's not a good thing. And that's your profession. Behavioral economics is all about lying. So expect a lot of lies coming out of the Fed and a lot of hidden stuff to go on. Anyway, go check that out. I had written, I think it was 20 different articles about Austin Goolsby. Do a search on Road to Ruta for Goolsby. Yep, 20 different articles. Not all about him, but that mention him, and there's quite a few. So yeah, good name for him too, Goolsby, because he's a ghoul on the financial system. I will be posting a discussion today with Jenny Moonstone. Jenny also has her YouTube channel and Patreon. She is posting, I think today, a discussion we had yesterday. Great discussion. It can't go on YouTube, unfortunately, because we talked about things that are important. But really interesting talk I had with Jenny on her channel, and she had on mine. I'll be posting that later today, and I think she's already posted hers on the Patreon Jenny Moonstone channel. So go check that out. Support the people who are out there fighting the good fight. That's my take. If you want to join the Road to Ruta, the private road, get all access to everything, go to roadtoruta.com, hit subscribe today, and we will send you the coolest coin ever made. The Ruta Lives coin, hand-painted, double-struck, individually numbered, certificate of authenticity, all the good stuff, and it comes free with a 1-year subscription to the private road at Road to Ruta. Go check it out. I'll talk to you guys later.